Namaste, peace, and good morning. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Wendy. Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday, Monday morning meditation. What day is it? Hey, so there's a quote from Kabir. Slowly, O mind, everything happens at its own pace. A gardener may water a tree 100 times, but the fruit only appears during its season. Meditation takes time. You got to water it and water it and water it. Eventually, though, not only does it just begin to produce fruit, it produces lots of fruit, good fruit. It's apple season here where we live, and apple trees take a long time. You can plant an apple tree, but it takes, I think it's like 7 years before it shows its fruit. And in the meanwhile, you have to keep watering it. And meditation is not quite that extreme. But in the meanwhile, while you're watering your apple tree, it continues to grow, and the growth is noticeable by the farmer. This is true also of meditation. The full fruits take time, but you can see it grow as it goes deeper and deeper into its rootage, which you can't see, but you get to see its twigs and its sprouts at the end of its branches and its leaves and its growth. Meditations like that. To water it again and again and again, the farmer has to have discipline. And discipline is a key factor in the meditative life. Eventually, what happens though is that you begin to crave it. I crave it when I don't have it. So it sort of produces this feedback loop where the more you practice, the more you want to practice every day. But the full fruits of it, the depths of it, don't really begin to appear until down the way a bit. That's the way it works, but it does work. Every apple farmer, orchard owner knows this to be true, that it takes time. Generation upon generation upon generation, people grow apples, plant new apple trees because they know eventually it will bear fruit. And meditation is the same way. If you have an expectation that it's going to grow your spiritual life overnight, well, sometimes it does. Sometimes you get this glimpse of the silence inside yourself. Sometimes you get to drop in that place when you first begin. That happens. But the real growth of it, the real fruiting of it, I should say, the real fruiting of it happens down the way a bit. And then there's an abundance with it. Discipline. It's one of the secret factors of meditation. No discipline, no fruit. That's the way it is. If you don't water your plant, it eventually dies, shrivels up. And oh, I got to water the plant, and you can come back to it later and continue to water. And if it's a strong enough roots, has a strong enough rootage, it will survive the drought. Meditation's not quite like that. Meditation grows with the neuroplasticity of the brain, and you pretty much pick up where you left off. And that's kind of true with apple trees as well. You pretty much pick up where you left off. If you don't water for a couple of weeks, the tree will survive. But once you begin to water it again, it begins to grow. Okay, that's enough of that analogy kind of stuff. Kabir Das was a 15th century saint from Uttar Pradesh in India. At least that's where I think he was born. He instructed that truth is within a person and is contemplated in every living and non living thing. Everything and every non living thing is divine. Kabir. He also practiced dropping the ego, dropping the I. And that's what we do here. We drop the ego, we drop the I. That's what meditation does for us. Okie dokie, my friends. Thanks for being here this morning. My little talk, inch by inch, row by row, kind of make this garden grow. Okay, Pete Seeger. That's dating myself. Okay, let's set my timer. Hi, Janet. My timer is here. We practice together because it creates this depths inside of ourselves. When we do this together, it enhances our meditation because of this thing that Jesus talked about, the I am. When two or more are gathered, I am there. This third energetic participant helps us deepen our meditation. If you're just joining us for the first time today, if you're just joining us for the first time today, pick a prayer word, match it with your breath, breathe it into your belly and back out your nose and repeat. And when your mind wanders, return to your prayer. It's super simple. If you've been practicing with me for a while, use whatever technique you're at. Join us tomorrow for our Zoom group at 9 a.m. You can sign up at my website to get an email that'll give you the link. We go much deeper in during this 1 hour time, and we talk a lot more about Kriya yoga and focusing on our chakras and our prana and all that sort of pranayama stuff. Hey, Broad, sorry, mispronounced your name. Good morning. Thanks and welcome. Hi, Ellen. Okay, here we go. If you've meditated before, Broad, just practice what you practice. This is, hey, David. I was listening to Conflict Radio interview on Spotify, and so you're here. Hey, welcome, David. So, for those of you who are just joining us this morning, if you haven't meditated before, I practice a sort of a modification of centering prayer practice, which arises out of Theravada Buddhism and Christian mystical practices, probably from the 13th and 14th century. People like Meister Eckhart and the Cloud of Unknowing and other people like that. It was developed in Massachusetts in the 1970s. I happened to live there at the time and nearby the monastery, which is how I ended up beginning this practice of silence. But really, the practice of quieting the thoughts of the mind is an ancient practice to access the divine inside yourself. And so we use prayer words or chants or mantras and ride them on our breath down into our belly and back out again. And when our mind wanders, we just come back to our prayer. It's very simple. There's a lot to begin with. There's a lot more to it. There's a growth that can happen in your practice. Much growth. Anyway, so welcome joining us this morning. Hi, David and Broad, especially. Thanks for being here. I'm going to put on my mask. We meditate for about 20 minutes. I wear a mask to cut down the light. I like to limit the sensory input. I hope that's enough info for you, David and Broad. If it isn't, let me know. But I'm going to put my mask on, so I'll see the chat after. Oh, I see you've got the "I love you" in sign language there, David. I used to speak ASL on a regular basis. All right, my friends, let's begin. Begin with 3 ohms to kind of center ourselves into our body. Full belly breath, full chest breath, vibrating our heart, throat, and third eye chakras, and then dropping into our centering practice. I like to settle in, kind of stretch myself, set my chair right, burp, burp if I have to. Shh, don't tell anybody. Here we go. Centering. Relax. Thanks for being here this morning, everyone. Peace and love to everybody. Thanks for meditating with me and together. Namaste. Thanks for your support. PeterPanagore.love if you want to talk to me. See you soon. Thanks, David, for being here today. Sheila, Kristen, peace to you all. Wanda. Hard to talk after. Take your time coming out of it. Namaste, Laurie. Peace and love, everybody. See you tomorrow on Zoom.